19 protection orders. 19!
23, 361, and 3.
I am as confused as all of you are about to be by this whole thing. This is without a doubt one of the single strangest protection order hearings I have ever heard. Let's just say somebody in this was barking up the wrong tree, barking up the wrong dog. It's really, really messed up. If you're currently having your lunch, do me a favor, just push it away from you.
Ms. Gum, I see you're there. You've got 3 matters. Ms. Gum. So we'll take them independently. First off, case number 23361, Michael Dominguez. Were you able to get notice to him of today's hearing?
I dropped the papers off at the sheriff's office last week.
All right. Did you check back with the sheriff to ask if they served him notice?
They haven't yet.
Okay, so what we did receive was that an Angel Evans was unable to make personal service on Mr. Dominguez. And Angel Evans is, who is that person? It's an incomplete, hasn't signed off. I don't know who Angel Evans is and didn't sign off on the document, so I can't accept it as an affidavit, but they were unable to give personal service to Mr. Dominguez. Is that someone you know?
No, I dropped it off at the Mason County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. Let's see.
Unless that's one of the deputies, but it wouldn't really make sense if they didn't complete the paperwork. Huh.
I agree. So there's Corporal Rowe, though. All right, as to the Tolliver matter, 23362 is Robert Tolliver is the person. Let's see. We've got something back from a Corporal Rowe. And then I'll look into the other matter here since there's new information, 23363 as to John Dominguez.
Was Anthony not served either? Or no?
Looking, who's Anthony?
Okay. Or Robert. He goes by Anthony. Robert Tolliver.
Looking at all the cases together and just see.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Angel did. Okay, and so John Dominguez was not served. Angel Evans did finally complete and says with Mason County Sheriff's Office unable to do personal service, no service attempts, it says.
So no service attempts.
That's what their affidavit says. I don't know what that means, but I take it as they didn't attempt. So Mr. Tolliver, so on case number 23362, the Robert Tolliver matter, there was a return of service from, let me get back to that. Corporal Rowe, Anthony Robert Tolliver, I see why you're saying that. He was served on 11/16, 4 days ago. A petition and the denial order, and served by Corporal Rowe of Mason County Sheriff's Office. So we have not issued an order on this matter, but Mr. Tolliver was served. Mr. Tolliver is not present at 9:35. We had notice of today's hearing. Was there any other information that it doesn't look like you filed any additional information after your petition? Is that right?
Yeah, I forgot to add this statement with my packet. Yeah, I forgot to add a statement. Can I give one now?
Well, you sure can. And I've got a packet, all of this information.
Yeah.
So let me put you under oath, Ms. Gum. Raise your right hand.
Right.
Tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do. Well, I will.
Oh.
Yes.
What is it that I particularly about Robert Tolliver? No one else but Robert Tolliver.
So I dated Robert's brother, Steve, and so when we split up in 2017, Anthony came to town, and so I have a protection order in place in Mason County, a criminal one, that's not being enforced. And so for Steve to be able to tell the sheriff's office that he's not doing it, he got his brother involved, Anthony or Robert. And so Robert has a group of friends that well, Robert's he's a heroin dealer, and he's
Can you tell recently happened, and then we'll work backwards.
yeah. So his friends, him and his friends, have been in the parking lot behind my apartment building, and they've been coming into my job. Last November, either Robert or one of his friends that he has doing things for him sodomized my dog in my car while I was
last
inside
November,
working.
meaning, slow down.
Yeah.
November of 2022 or November or this year?
This was of 22, and so
Okay.
and
why do you think?
So now you can see why this video is going to get demonetized. So make sure and hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff.
That was Robert Tolliver.
Because that's what him and his brothers do. They're from a boys ranch down on the border of Mexico and Arizona, and
anything more recently than last November?
Yeah, they've been his friends have been coming into my job, my new job. His friends are coming into my job.
When did Mr. Robert Tolliver come to your job?
Robert's not going to come into my job. Robert's not going to have his face on camera. None of them are going to put their face on camera.
So why do you believe Mr. Tolliver is causing all this?
Because I can place his brother at the scene of a fire in Mason County. 3 fires, actually. I got a email from a deputy who's Edward Brock, who's finally going to look into it. I can place Steve Dominguez at 3 fires the day of the fire via his Google Maps location reporting. So his brother, because of that, and because I've been trying to get law enforcement to listen to me, and not that I'm not some nut job, his brothers are terrorizing me and my dogs to try to shut me up.
That was the March 2020 arson that you're talking about?
There was 3 fires in 2017, and then on March 19th of 2020, that was the first arson attempt, and then September 28th of this year was the last one. Somebody poured a gallon of cooking oil under the lid of my stove top, and so I turned the burner on. I could hear oil boiling, and lifted the lid up of the stove, and somebody had filled the cavities under the burners up with cooking oil. And so that was in September.
This is information that you did write down and provided in all of that information. But unfortunately, this court, without more, and potentially law enforcement would provide it for you, but without more, can't find that Mr. Tolliver, sufficient evidence that he is causing unlawful harassment from what you've provided. So again, I'm denying the request for that order, but continue to work with law enforcement and see.
I have applied for 19 protection orders, 19 of them. How much longer should I work with them, Your Honor? My dog, if you see my dog, he was sodomized in my car.
I'm hearing you.
Sodomized.
I understand what you're
not
saying,
hearing
but
me.
the court has to work on evidence, and unfortunately, we don't have that.
The
I'm
law
not saying it
enforcement-
didn't happen. I'm just saying we don't have the evidence to a legal standard.
That's the problem.
can
So
help
the
you
problem
with.
is law enforcement is unwilling to really listen or even get out of their cars. That's the problem. Is law enforcement is not willing to enforce the protection order to begin with. If they would have enforced it, then his brother wouldn't have even got involved.
So Ms. Gunn, we've got 2 other matters. I'm denying the Tolliver matter. There just isn't evidence. We have denied the others, but and without further evidence presented, there's not really a basis to issue any orders.
Okay.
But
Right.
if you wanted some more time to serve notice on the Dominguez's, it looks like law enforcement did not make any attempts, at least on one of these, and the other is an insufficient document. Did you want to set those, the Dominguez matters, to another court date or not?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll give you more time to serve those. And so you're gonna have to follow up with, if you believe Mason County is the proper law enforcement agency, talk to them, follow up with them. We'll
So
set a court date today.
I thought me speaking what is happening is evidence. Like what evidence? Like a videotape of, like, I'm not sure what you guys are requiring. You guys are making it impossible for a victim to, you can't get surveillance of being surveillanced by somebody you're terrified of.
So I'm gonna look at a court date here, Ms. Gum. Hang on, see what you can do about not loading up if you can. See
We
where
want
we're at.
surveillance of you being surveillanced by someone you're scared of.
We don't have a 2-week.
You're making it impossible. They modified the laws and they're just impossible still.
There's 4 on it.
Okay, and we're setting from this week to the 4th.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Why don't we set these to the 4th?
You do the 4th or the 11th.
So we're looking at December 4th or December 11th for another hearing where you'd have to talk to the Mason County and see if they could serve notice on the Dominguez's. Which would you like?
Uh,
The 11th would you get you a little bit more time?
that's fine. Yeah.
All right, so we'll reset
This
those
is the
to
reason
December
why
11th.
Yeah.
We'll
I've been just like
reset the
flipping my
Dominguez
lid because of
matters.
this.
So
19
23
protection orders. 19!
23,
19
361
protection
and
orders.
363 will be set to December
I'm
11th.
suffering all the consequences. My life is in ruins. And you guys sit there, you
Ms.
do
Gum,
nothing.
can you try and pull yourself together? I know this is
No,
difficult.
I'm gonna end up dead. And then you guys are gonna say, well, we didn't realize it was actually happening to her.
We have an
It's
email
so
address.
profound. So
We're
profound.
gonna email you the service packets, Ms. Gum, for December 11th. And then
And
you
you're gonna
take it
do
from there
nothing.
with the
Nothing is
Dominguez.
gonna be done. Nothing is. It's just a joke. Protection orders are jokes.
So if you choose to follow up, we'll be back December 11th and talk to Mason County.
Yeah, I
that's
don't
it
have
for
video.
today, Ms.
I don't
Gum.
have the evidence that you guys. It's a preponderance.
And that's it
Yeah,
for today, Ms. Gum.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll see you on the 11th if you choose to follow up.
Well, that went very well. Yeah, she completely understood how the whole process worked. Like, I feel really, really bad for her and her dog if all of this stuff is true. Especially the dog, let's face it. The dog got a bum deal. That is terrible phrasing. I did not do that on purpose. I swear to you. But anyway, I do feel bad for this lady. I hope that she gets all of these problems sorted out. But anyway, folks, thank you so much for joining me. That was quite something. If you did like it, make sure and hit the like button. As in, if you like, being. So here I was about to tuck myself up into bed and watch the TV for a little while with my puppies. And I came across SeaTac Municipal Court. I saw this lady with a very interesting kind of haircut. And I thought, something tells me that I need to watch this one. So I did. And I was not disappointed. And I think you won't be either. Starts off a little bit slow. But it turns out she gets really, really, really cheeky and has some choice words and a good smattering of Karen-like arrogance.
And this is Arkita Latoya Johnson for A0110-324 here for Raymond. Is Arkita Latoya Klebs Johnson your true and correct name?
Yes.
Your date of birth is October 10th, 1989.
Yes.
Earlier today, we went over your rights at arraignment. Any questions about your rights I wasn't able to answer?
No.
And I've gone over the charge, the maximum penalty, and the mandatory minimum penalty. Would acknowledge you see the complaint, wait for more reading, and ask to plead not guilty.
Plead not guilty will enter. I did find probable cause to detain yesterday. Are you seeking direct appointment?
Yes, we
I
are.
will direct appoint. What is the city's recommendation regarding release?
City seeking bail amount of $2,500, order to surrender firearms, no criminal law violations, and a no contact order protecting the alleged victim in the case. There's the alleged offense here was committed at a time there was an active warrant while she's on sentencing conditions in Kent and also under sentencing conditions, conditions of release in the King County Superior Court, where it appears that she had a out of custody competency evaluation pending, and now she's before the court before that was completed on new violent charges. And so I believe that there is a safety risk here and unlikely to appear or abide by conditions of release.
Any objection?
Your Honor, Ms. Johnson's hoping the court releases her. She's indicated she does have a place to live that won't put her in violation of the no contact order, does not need a civil standby. She does not possess any firearms and can sign a declaration to that effect. She's indicated she would show up for her court dates.
I'm gonna follow the city's recommendation. I can scroll through Ms. Johnson's warrant activity. There's so much of it.
Not a warrant.
You've been active. Pardon?
How's it a warrant if I have court on the 21st for it?
But you have warrants on almost all your cases. At some point, I mean, is it evidence of a history of not failing to appear for court?
No, I have court on the 21st for that case in Kent.
I think that's,
I understand that.
So how's it a warrant?
the Kent Municipal Court is the warrant. Your court date on
I
the
don't
20th.
have any other charge. I don't have any other cases with it.
But you do, it's Kent Municipal Court. You're on review. You missed a review hearing, it looks like.
Yeah, and it's scheduled for the 21st.
The King County Superior Court is scheduled for the 21st.
This is Kent Municipal Court.
I don't have a charge for Kent Municipal Court.
I'm not gonna argue with you, ma'am, I can see it. Your conditions of your release on this case are that you attend all future court appearances, have no new criminal law violations, update your address with the court and DOL immediately if there are any changes. And the address we have on file is on Southwest 148th Street. Is that still a good mailing address?
Yeah.
And have no contact with Donovan Brown. And I'm gonna go over that no contact order with you in a minute. You do not own or possess any firearms. Do you own any firearms, ma'am?
No.
I am signing an order to surrender. So at this point, you are not eligible to possess a firearm. When would you like to set this over to, Mr. Arnetti?
Not later this week.
Maybe
need to-
Wednesday or Thursday would work.
Let's do Thursday. I need to figure out some information from her county.
Okay.
So which is not released.
Bail is $2,500.
So I'm not getting released today.
No. Oh, shoot. Did it delete everything? No, but we'll hear your case on Thursday.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm not done with your hearing, ma'am. I'm not done. Officer, we're not done.
I think he's putting it back through the.
Okay.
What?
We're not quite done, Ms. Johnson. I want to go over the no contact order with you.
What? Yeah. And you probably I'm not being released today, so what the fuck I need to go over a fucking no contact.
Ms. Johnson, please watch your language. You are in court. So under the terms of this no contact order, you cannot have any contact at all with Donovan or Donovan, I'm not sure how you say his name, Brown. This is this court's no contact order. It is not Mr. Brown's no contact order. He cannot give you permission to have contact. It would still be a violation. No contact means absolutely no contact. No text messages, social media, passing message through a friend, no phone calls from jail. This order will stay in full force and effect until lifted or modified by this court. Violating this order is not only a violation of your conditions of release, it's a whole nother crime. So it's very important that you abide by this no contact order. And under the terms of this, you must stay at least 1,000 feet away from him, his workplace, residence, or vehicle. All right, thank you.
So what happened to turning to release?
I've already made that decision. Bail's $2,500.
I'm talking to my attorney, not you.
The court just answered the question. She set bail. And I'll come and talk to you before your next court date.
Good afternoon, everybody. The Irish Demon back with another video. Today we got a lady who comes into court with a really strange name on the screen, and a judge picks her up on it straight away. Now, this lady is so entitled that she believes that she should never have to pay for her own rent. She makes the argument that it's everybody else's fault except her own.
Good afternoon. Are you Carrie Haney?
Yes.
You come in as Grinch 74. That means there were 73 Grinches before you.
I mean, she does kind of look like the Grinch.
When you come into court, you might want to consider what you come in named as. I had a terrible experience last year. But I'm a little better at it than I was. I also have a telephone number. I'm not sure who that is. Anyway, let's call this case. It's entitled Riverside Townhouses versus Carrie Haney. Carrie Haney has filed a motion for temporary relief from judgment and an ex parte order to stay proceedings. Rather than issue the order ex parte, I set it for hearing on short notice. I've been on vacation for 2 weeks, but I was in here last Tuesday. And last Tuesday, I asked the clerk to set the matter for hearing this afternoon, and she squeezed it in here. Sumchit Hart is here on behalf of Riverside, and their new manager, Lori Casino, is here. This matter goes all the way back to April or March, but we had a hearing on May 16th. Amy Lucas was here from Keystone. They were working on having a check. We were here again on June 17th, and we made a finding that the rent due was $3,903.61. We did a judgment which was due June 27th. Now here we are on the 25th of July. Ms. Casino,
Yes.
has Riverside received any money from Keystone?
Now, just to explain briefly what Keystone is, in this particular area, it is a community-based charity that assists people in paying their rent if they fall in hard times. Simply applying for it does not mean that you don't have to pay your rent. Also, they're not under any obligation. If they run out of money, they got nothing left to give you, and that seems to be what's happening at the moment anyway. Keystone should only be kind of used in rare circumstances when you really need the help, and definitely should not be looked at as a long-term opportunity to get free rent. But that's not going to stop this entitled Karen.
Not that
You broke up. You've received no money from Keystone?
No. We have not.
I emailed Keystone and asked them to join the hearing a while ago, and I haven't heard from them. So someone assisted you, Ms. Haney, with filing this pleading. Who helped you? Legal aid?
No, I did it online, but my SIRA application is still processing, it says.
According to who?
On my, when I go and check the status of it,
Have you talked to anybody?
I just got the email with the phone number this weekend, so I was gonna call today.
Well, all right. Ms. Hart, what's your position here?
Your Honor, we would object to any additional time given to Ms. Haney. The judgment was after a hearing, Your Honor, and the time has lapsed, not only for her to pay and stay there, but she didn't file the motion until the 29th. There is no defense to setting aside the judgment. It's been more than 30 days since the application for Sarah. We'd asked for the judgment to stand, Your Honor.
Ms. Haney,
Yes.
let's pretend we're in a court hearing and you're talking to me rather than whoever is in the room there with you. They want you to move today. They're ready to do an eviction tomorrow. And they're asking that I don't grant your stay. They asked that there be-
See?
Let him talk.
I'm sorry, what do you want me to know?
I just got another thing in the mail from Riverside, last week sometime, that I had on 30 days or something like that. And then I owed another $2,900 and something dollars. It wasn't even like the same amount that I got originally.
Well, it goes up as months pass. So let's
But it's
back
gonna
up.
go up though, because my rent should be zero. That's what I'm not understanding, why it keeps adding up if I don't pay rent.
What level of entitlement does it take to think that your rent should be zero and that it's everybody else's fault and everybody else's responsibility but your own? Now, the program that you signed up for, you would have easily been told that it's not guaranteed. I get it. People fall on hard times. We've all fallen on hard times. That doesn't mean that you can just sit back and say, it's all good. The community will cover it. Now the chickens come home to roost and you're getting all ratty.
Your rent was $765 per month, due on the first of each month.
Nobody ever told me that my rent was that amount. When I first moved in here, it was
I told you
$88.
that in court. Apparently you didn't recertify or something, but we had a hearing. You were here.
Yes.
We
And then
had the first hearing, just a minute. We had the first hearing May 17th. I adjourned it for 30 days. From May 17th to June 17th, 31 days.
Yes.
And we had a hearing at that time, and I made a finding that you owed $3,903.61 by June 27th, or you were subject to being evicted. You were there. I explained all the circumstances to you.
And I
You
understand.
haven't paid, and Keystone hasn't paid. So they were ready to evict you. And then you asked for this order to stay it, which has been an additional month. And they're asking that I deny your motion and sign the writ of eviction. I have it here in front of me.
Well, it says that if my Sierra app was still in processing, I could do that.
Who says that?
The law thing that I pulled up on the thing. That's why I filled out the application.
Oh, that sounded like great legalese right there. I think we better ask Judge Demon about this one. What do you think, Judge Demon? Well, she did say that she pulled up the law thing on the thing, so seems pretty legit to me. This chick knows what she's talking about.
Well, all right. Well, for one thing, I don't have any proof that your Sierra application is in processing.
I can send you a screenshot.
Well, you haven't filed anything and you haven't talked to anybody. All you've done is check your email.
I did file something with Riverside.
I adjourned the matter once, 30 days, which you're entitled, I am entitled to you're not entitled to a 30, well, you had it. You had it from June 27th or May 16th to June 17th. We already adjourned it for 30 days. And
he just keeps saying the same thing.
Yeah, Karen, he keeps saying the same thing for two reasons. Number one, that thing hasn't changed. Number two, you're clearly incapable of listening to what he's saying.
And they're asking that I immediately grant the eviction, which is pretty heavy stuff.
Being that they let people run around here breaking out, and I've got 4 kids, but they'll let stay in here that destroy their apartments. That makes no sense. Because the girl didn't like me, so she kept pushing and pushing and pushing on me. That's bull. I went and I went and re-signed a new lease like a week after the first time they sent me a court paper. I went and filed it or signed it. I don't know why they don't have it. I don't know what happened to it, but I signed it. I sat down there for like an hour signing papers. And at that point, my rent should have been 0.
No, Karen. Number one, your rent should not have been 0. Your rent is whatever the rent set was, and then you will get a subsidy from a charity which would make it 0 for you, not 0 for them. They still need to be paid, and that is still your responsibility. Now, it sucks that you got 4 kids and you're worried about housing at this point. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but society can't keep footing the bill for these things, and you can't then lash out at everybody just because you're not looking after yourself and your family. That is your responsibility.
But they just kept adding it on and adding it on, and she kept putting stuff on my door and putting stuff on my door. I don't understand how it works.
Your rent isn't 0, and that wasn't raised at the earlier hearings.
But it should be 0.
And they haven't paid your rent, and the landlord wants you to move.
Because it's processing. I can't speed it up.
You haven't filed anything that says it's in processing.
I did.
Let me see.
The last court date we had, it was in processing. She pulled it up and said that they would try to push it through. So I did.
That was on June 17th. Well, they didn't.
Yeah.
They haven't paid it.
And it is still processing. I can't do anything about it.
Well, neither can they. You haven't paid your rent. So you're saying, well, someone else is supposed to pay my rent. Well, they haven't paid it.
I'm not saying someone else. I'm saying the application that I applied for, I can't push it through any further. I can't jump to the government and make them push it through.
Yeah,
I can't. This is bull. She was just on here with us the last time and told them she would try to push it through. That's not my fault.
Ms. Hart, are you willing to give 10 days?
Your Honor, this case has been ongoing since April. That's not amendable to the complex. She's, as you can see, very combative. We would just
the
want
one time. I've been on these calls for freaking 4 different times and I've been fine because I'm tired. I'm tired of it. They've been picking and picking at me.
Calm down.
Yeah, she's clearly not a combative person. I get it. Sorting out rent can be very stressful. I've just recently been there myself. It ain't fun. But screaming at the people who are trying to help you is not the way forward. You didn't pay your rent. Now, I understand you were under the impression that it was going to be free. Well, it ain't. And it's on you as an adult and as a mother to ensure that you go and sort it out.
I'm sorry that this is the way it is.
The whole time, and they don't let me talk every time.
This wasn't my idea, but you're not paying your rent. You're asking the government to pay your rent. The government hasn't paid it. I don't know why they haven't paid it, but they have not.
It's still in processing. I cannot speed up the processing. It's not up to me. Marvin, stop! You're not making it better for me.
Who's there with you?
I have tried and tried and tried. I've applied for stuff. I filled stuff out on the computer.
All right,
I've gone through everything they told me to go through.
Now, I know you said that you tried filling out stuff. What about filling out a job application? Now, some of you might be looking at that and saying, that's pretty cruel, and she's got kids and it's hard to do. Let me be clear. A lot of people out there are doing that every single day. Now, I don't know, maybe this lady has mental health problems, maybe she has a disability. If that were the case, I'm sure there's specific assistance for her in that scenario.
Well, they didn't pay your rent. And for that, I'm sorry.
Processing.
All right, this is going to be very unpleasant. Keystone has not responded to them.
And
they
I
haven't
tried
responded
to communicate, but this girl up here that they had as the manager didn't like me. She refused to talk to me every time I tried.
Your motion for ex parte order to stay the eviction is denied. what you effectively got is a 1 month stay from June 27th to July 25th. But I've signed the writ of eviction. They're not even willing to give you any additional time. So they could start tomorrow with evicting you. So they want you to go, and they want you to go immediately, and I don't like that much.
I have 4 kids. Like, I can't just go.
With all due respect to this lady, I know it's tough being evicted, especially when you got 4 kids. Despite what another YouTuber might say, I myself have never been evicted. I also don't have any kids, so I'm not aware of how tough that would be, but I can only imagine. But here's the thing, folks. This has been going on for months and months and months now. A month ago, she had to go to court to get a stay on this eviction. That basically gives you 30 days to sort out your affairs. What's recommended in that scenario is either you come to a resolution with the owners, or you prepare your ass to move out.
I would immediately contact Keystone, even if they probably won't accept Keystone's payment because they want you to move.
But they have druggies out here breaking out windows. That's cute.
Fair enough. There may be people in that same apartment block that are causing trouble, breaking out windows, doing all that horrible stuff. That's between them and the owners or the authorities, depending on how bad it is. Just because people are doing that doesn't mean that you don't pay your rent. It also doesn't mean that when you don't pay your rent, that you don't get evicted. Now, all in all, this is a pretty horrible situation. But this lady was given opportunity on top of opportunities. Opportunities like free rent. A lot of us have to get up in the morning and work very hard to pay our rent. Most of you watching probably do, or a mortgage. Again, I don't know this lady's circumstances. It hasn't been brought up, so I assume it's nothing really that bad. Because if it was, she would be able to use it to her advantage in this scenario. You might argue that having 4 kids and having to pay for childcare would stop her from being able to go out and get a job. Millions of people the world over have to make that work every day. It's not that I don't have sympathy for her, I do. Despite her being so entitled and aggressive, I do have sympathy for her, but there has to be a stopping point. There has to be a point where all of your opportunities coming again and again and again have to stop. And it seems like this is where it has. You could tell because the judge even said it himself. He didn't like having to do this, that it wasn't going to be a nice thing to do, but it has to be done at some point. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure and give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and leave a comment down below. Just hit 22,000 subscribers, so I want to thank you all so much for joining me. It's been awesome. If you want to support the channel in other ways, you can do so by hitting the PayPal link down below. Leave me an old tip in that tip jar, or consider getting some beautiful Irish Demon merch. We'll catch you in the next one, folks. Slán. Good afternoon, everybody. The Irish Demon here, back with another video. Now, while you're watching this, I'll be over in Portugal, and hopefully I'll have a few other videos for you to watch while I'm away, so make sure and smash that like button. Now, in this video, we got a lady here who did some really naughty stuff a couple of years ago and got a reasonably low bond. Now, she hasn't turned up to court on a bunch of occasions, and now she's here again and she wants to see a different judge to try to resolve the issue. Now, when you first see it, it seems like Judge Herman here has been a little bit harsh. But honestly, I lost all of that sympathy when I realized what she had done and how long she's let it go undealt with. Of course, we get the sob stories and it's easy to feel sorry for her. But at the end of the day, she isn't here for no reason. Anyway, check out the video and let me know down below what you think.
Is he there?
He is there. He's just turned his video off.
I'm there. I'm here.
Your Honor, listen. It's a bench warrant. It's a bench warrant on a case on somebody's been arraigned. We do not represent them. However, it's an Odette case. So all we're asking you to do today is give her a date to go in front of Judge Odette, and then she can tell Judge Odette why it was she didn't show up. And I want her to understand our group does not represent bench warrants if it's after arraignment. If it's prior to arraignment, then we do. So we just need a new date in front of Odette. Actually, they have a form in there saying she should appear July 28th at 8:30 in front of Judge Odette.
What kind of case is it, and what's the bond that Judge Odette asked for?
It's a.
I'm sorry, are we going to go on the record on this, or what are we doing?
I guess we probably
It's
could.
an MDOP, Judge.
Oh, boy. I need to see that file.
Well, it's not what she wants.
If he was sitting here on the bench, he'd have that file in front of him right now.
Yeah, he needs to see the file.
She doesn't have a choice on whether the judge sees the file.
I will,
She's bringing it into you right now. Lynn's on her way.
thank you.
She's the only walk-in though, so if you want to finish this, then we'd be off the record.
Okay. This is, people of Mundy Township versus Simone Patrice Poplar. The charge is malicious destruction of property. Let me swear you in. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge, understanding, and belief.
Yes.
What is your full legal name?
Simone Patrice Poplar.
Okay. Mr. Wheaton, I was told by staff that Mr. Skinner did talk to her.
Yes, he did. But I'm telling you, and I'm letting her know, this program that we are on here, we do not represent bench warrants unless it's pre-arraignment. Now, he talked to her out of courtesy because she was here. But all she needs to do is, and actually it's a Judge Odette court. So all that we need to do today is get a date, which is already in the file, have her go to Judge Odette, and then she has to go in and let him know why she didn't show up.
Yes, I understand.
So, I mean, at this point, I will, in her behalf, ask the court to go ahead and set that date. And she can go on that date and deal with this in front of Judge Odette. There's absolutely no reason to think she isn't going to show up. She voluntarily came in here today. So there's no reason to do anything more than just give her the new date and let her go. And if she doesn't show up on that date, then she'll have to deal with Judge Odette on that.
Does she have $250? Because that would wrap the case up. Because she was given one of those alternate sentences, 250 or 45 days.
You have 250 on you today?
Your Honor, I do not have 250 on me today. That I got arrested for that. Like I want to say in May, and I paid $300 and something that day to get out. I've been arrested on this a couple times and paid to get out. It's the matter of this happened during COVID, and it just got mixed up during COVID. So I'm handling it now.
Is Judge Odette in the building?
Judge Odette, what?
Is he in the building today?
I wouldn't have the slightest idea, but I doubt it.
The date for the appearance for the show cause is going to be July 28th, 2022 at 8:30 in the morning. I'm going to set the bond at $250 at 10%.
Your Honor, I believe Judge Odette might be here because he had these pre-trials that starting at 1 o'clock.
Well, if
That's
he's
why
here-
I'm not going to reach anybody by phone then.
So we just might want to send her down to Judge Odette.
Okay, so basically what's happened here is she had been given a sentence and she had to pay a certain amount of money and she didn't. Now, as she stated, she'd been arrested on this issue multiple times and had to pay her way out. So one might ask, why not just pay the fine in the first place and get it over and done with? Now, I get it. Money can be pretty scarce at times, especially at the moment with everything that's gone on. And yeah, $250 might not be a huge amount to most of us, but to a lot of us, it's a lot of money. However, I'm willing to bet she's got a phone in her pocket just like a lot of us do that probably costs in excess of $1,000. Obviously, I don't expect everybody to go to my standards, but if I was in trouble like this where my liberty was at risk, the first thing I would be doing is selling anything I can to get that paid off. Now, that may seem a little bit harsh, and sure, it probably is, but that's the reality of life. If you don't want to find yourself in this situation, then you gotta do what you gotta do. Now, before we continue, I just want to say a massive thank you to Old Squishy Gardener, who finds these amazing videos. I can tell you from experience, it's very hard to find them. So check out Old Squishy Gardener in the description down below if you want to see these videos uninterrupted.
Yeah, Your Honor, I can, if you can give me till Friday, I can come and make that payment Friday. But as of today, I don't have any money.
I'm going to send the file to Judge Odette. It's his case, only because I'm
Whether you have time.
When I called for this warrant and they told me all I had to do was come in and they would give me a date to come to court to talk to Judge Odette.
That's what we just, why, if you want to, you can go down there right now if he's here and take care of it.
I'd rather come back with someone. I'd rather come with someone and see Judge Odette. I'd rather have someone with me to come back and see Judge Odette.
Well,
instead of today. Today, I was told I would just get an arraignment and I would get a date. I specifically called up here for this.
You have $25? Do you have $25?
No, I don't have anything. My bank account is overdrawn. I have to go to Southfield for work. My bank account is overdrawn. I do not get paid until Friday. I just came because I cannot be driving with a warrant on my name.
Again, I know it sounds harsh, but that's just tough luck. You should have thought about that first of all before you did what you did in the first place, and we'll get to that here in a while. And second of all, you should have tried to prioritize making arrangements to keep yourself out of trouble. Again, I know it's not easy to come by that kind of money, and you explain later that you had a lot of things going on. I get that. But you could have done something. You could have contacted the court, you know, if it was more convenient for you at an earlier time, to see if you could arrange something. But it seems that you didn't. And now the chickens have come home to roost.
Is this the only bench warrant you've had on this case? Let me look. No, wait a minute. Okay, let me look at this. Okay, she got sentenced. It's a 2017 case. She got sentenced October 1st, 2019 to pay $834, it looks like. She had to make restitution, some malicious destruction of property. So she had to make restitution. So they set a show cause for April 20th of 2020. So apparently on April 20th, she got it adjourned to June 2nd, 2020. And then it got adjourned again to July 28th, 2020. So she didn't show up on July 28th, 2020. So,
Your Honor, may I add that was during COVID? The court
excuse me, I'm in the middle of
not
talking.
open.
Excuse me, I'm in the middle of speaking. Okay?
I'm sorry. Yes.
She did not show up on July 28th, 2020. So apparently the judge issued the first bench warrant. She apparently got picked up sometime around April because she posted a bond. The bond was for $250. They applied that bond to the restitution fee. So they set another show cause she had when she posted her bond. She was to appear for May 24th, 2022 for a show cause. It says defendant to appear if fines and restitution not paid in full. So that's when she was supposed to come back on May 24th of this year. Apparently she did not, and now we have a bench warrant. So, ma'am, you already lost a bond because you didn't show up the next time. I don't.
So basically what we got here is because she's put this off and ran away from the issue for so long, she's got picked up multiple times and had to pay her way out, over and above the cost of what it would have been to just deal with the issue. And now she stands there and wants everything to be put off once again. How long can you allow this stuff to go on for? This happened back in 2017. You can't use the events of the last 2 years as an excuse because it was almost 3 years between the start of that and when the incident happened in the first place. It's over 5 years now. Surely in 5 years you'd be able to resolve this.
They told me that I can just pay the fine and the thing will be over with. I have to, that's over $1,000-something.
Yeah,
yeah,
you were told, wait, you were told you could pay the fine before that May 24th date, and apparently you didn't.
I didn't have the money, Your Honor. I don't have the money. If I had the money, I would have been paid it and got it off of me. That's why I'm going to start making payments. That's why I came today to get the warrant and start making payments to get that off, because I cannot afford to keep getting arrested and paying all that money to get out of jail. I can't afford that.
But here's the question that this raises. You have been affording it. You're here right now with your liberty because you've been paying your way out of jail. So if you've been able to afford that, why haven't you been able to afford to just pay the fine in the first place?
I'm trying to make this right. All of this happened during COVID. I lost my father during COVID. I lost my best friend during COVID.
Right, well, it's 2017.
COVID. Why can't you just give the woman a PR bond and let her get in front of Judge Odette? It's his case. Let him deal with it.
Then she should go over there now and let him deal with it.
Have $25. Are you going to put her in jail over $25?
Get a load of discount Colonel Sanders over here talking to the judge like that. He's got enough cheek for another arse.
No, it's $250. That's what the warrant says.
You
she didn't show up. Listen.
She doesn't have the 10%.
I mean, this is not a scab that should be picked at, because I'm looking now and seeing as she blew off sentencing in 17, got a bench warrant then.
I spent time in jail for all of that, Your Honor. I've been to jail for this 3 times. I had been to jail for this. I did 20 days for this.
Yeah, but you owe, listen, whatever property you destroyed.
And that's when they gave me the big fine. I wasn't able to pay the fine. I don't have $1,000.
Well, if you don't have $1,000, how about not doing $1,000 worth of damage?
Looks like they applied the money that you posted on that bond towards restitution of whatever you destroyed.
No, they're not, because I'm sorry, they're still saying that I owe. If they are applying it, they're still saying that I owe the same amount. It's even more now than then. It was 800 and something then. It's over 1,000 and something now.
I don't see it that it says 1,000. The warrant says 250 or 45 days. That $250 bond you posted. You posted a $250 bond in April. They applied it. It says right on here, they applied it to restitution.
Well, it's still saying that I owe over $1,000 and something. The last paperwork that I saw.
Judge, the total amount due on the case now, the balance due is $1,097.
Well, let me see what this was about.
The restitution amount was $784, and the rest is fines, costs, and probably late fees. Oh, she had probation, so there's probation oversight fees in there.
I think she was supposed to be paying monthly on that.
At the time, I wasn't working and COVID happened. In 2020, COVID happened. I was not working. I had to pay for my father's funeral.
Yes, in 2020. This happened back in 2017. Am I the only one seeing the issue with this here?
And on top of that, Your Honor, I got evicted from my apartment. It's like a lot been going on since that time. That was a long time ago, 2017. And I thought this was over with until I had that last warrant and they picked me up because I hadn't heard any more about it, and not even about the probation or anything. So then when I got the last warrant, I couldn't get time off of work because I spent time in jail for that. They took me I got in a car accident. I had a warrant for this, and I did 3 days in jail. So my job wouldn't give me any time off. So I couldn't make that one. So I said, I'll turn myself in. I called and they told me to come and turn myself in, and I would get a date and I could make payment. They told me to make sure I make payments before or try to pay it off before the next court date. And that was my plan.
It looks like you slashed somebody's tire.
Your Honor, that was in 2017. I am a saved woman. I really don't want to bring that type of stuff back up. I'm going to pay my fines and costs, and I will pray that this is left behind me. Please.
Let me ask you a
don't
question.
bring
Let me
that
ask you a
flashing
question.
tire up. Lord, help me, Jesus. You're bringing old wounds back to me.
Why you bringing up old shit?
Can I please deal with Judge Odette? Please, Your Honor.
Now, you may have missed the part there where she said she's a saved woman and she's found the Lord or whatever. Great. Good for you. Now, I'm sure if Jesus was here, he'd want you to do the right thing. What about the person who's waiting on restitution for something that you did 5 years ago? Surely the godly thing to do would be to resolve that issue.
I think you need to go around and see him, because you know what? This is his case. The fact of the matter is, you should make these arguments to him, because the fact is.
Yeah, I think I should.
Excuse me. I'm talking now. I'm talking now.
I'm sorry.
I'm talking now. The fact is, somebody has had to wait 5 years. They still haven't gotten paid back for their tire. And that's not right. That's just not right.
Your Honor, I didn't even slash that tire, though. You don't even really know what happened with that whole ordeal, and I was kept going to court for that. And so I just said, you know what? I will pay it. And you're giving me anxiety right now, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, but boo-hoo. You're giving me anxiety. Come on. You're giving yourself anxiety. Sure, you claim that you didn't do it. You should have went to trial. I understand why some people just take the small charge and get it done with. The problem is you didn't just get it over and done with, did you? You waited 5 years and paid a fortune to get your ass out of jail a few times.
Please.
Ma'am, you know what? I don't know what to tell you. Go see Judge Odette. Either that or you pay the $25 bond that I wrote on here. Okay, that's where we're at.
Where do I go?
Down on the other side. Just go out to the hallway, go all the way down to take a sharp left, get to the first courtroom.
So if I pay, if somebody bring me $25, do I still go to court on the 27th?
Yes. Yes. But if you really want to be, if you really want to be done with it, maybe you should have somebody bring $250 and the file will get closed.
I don't have anyone to bring me $250, Your Honor. I asked if someone brought me $25 up here right now. Do I still go to court on the 27th?
Yes. You'd have to go to court on the 27th. Or whatever that date is. I'm
gonna call someone to bring me the $25 because when I go see,
it's the 28th, by the way. It's the 28th.
Judge, wait, I'm sorry. You keep going back and forth between saying for her to see Judge Odette now and then just wait until next week. Are you wanting her to see Judge Odette now?
No, he said I can pay the $25 now.
She's got two choices.
See him on the 28th.
She's got a choice of two things. She can go see Judge Odette now to see if he will release her on her own recognizance without posting anything, or she can, I'm setting the bond at 10% of the $250. She can pay $25, post that, and come back and see Judge Odette on July 28th at 8:30 for the show cause. Quite frankly,
here's what I think, if I may interject here and we can wrap this up.
Hold your chicken nuggets there a second, Colonel. Let me just say this. This lady has been messing around for a long, long time with this case. Now, I get it. Sometimes life gets in the way. I've been there myself. I'm sure not a single one of you watching right now hasn't had a situation where you've put something on the long finger, it creates more and more anxiety, and it makes the whole thing worse. We've all done it. But at this point, it's 5 years. She's wasted so much court time. She's wasted police time. She's wasted taxpayers' money, all over a few $100. Again, I get it. It's not always that easy to come by it. But for God's sake, just resolve it. Get it over and done with. This judge is actually being more than reasonable. As harsh as it may seem he's being outrageously reasonable. He's given you options after 5 years.
She is going to call and try to get $25 brought down to her. Does she pay that money at the clerk's office? Well, that's what we'll do then. You can give her the appropriate paperwork and we'll be done at this point.
Now understand that if it doesn't get posted today, and don't they close at 4 o'clock? What time do they close?
They close at 4 o'clock and it's 3:42 now.
Well, you don't have a lot of time. Is there still an ATM machine out there?
I don't know, Judge.
Yes,
I don't
there
go
is.
out that
Yes,
way.
there is. I use it.
Okay.
Lynn
well,
says there is.
Do you have an ATM card?
I have a credit card that I don't want to use it. I'm over my limit, but I will use it. I will use it.
I would if I were you. Okay, somebody needs to get this. That's what I'm going to do.
Now my credit don't go down because I ain't even got the money on here.
Ma'am, go to the clerk's office right now if you got a credit card.
Just a moment. I gotta get the file before she can go over there.
Paperwork, and you just put it on your card and then show up at debts on the 28th. All right, Sabrina,
Well, okay, so what, if she's saying that she's gonna try to use a card that's already at or over its limit, what if it
Well,
rejects?
No, I got money. I'm over my credit card limit. I have money on there.
It'll still let you use it?
I wouldn't have said it would.
You know, I'm
Yeah,
asking for your own,
Yeah,
you know, I'm
yeah,
not
it's just
saying.
gonna affect my credit.
Okay,
That's the issue.
all right.
okay, so she'll be able to pay the $25 for it.
Okay, well, I will go with you to the clerk's office.
Now, it sucks that the lady is in a situation where she may have to affect her credit. That's awful. I don't want that to happen to this lady. Maybe she is genuinely trying to make amends, but it's time to actually step up. Stop talking about it and start doing it. Go use your credit card, pay it off, take the hit on it. Go to the credit card company and set up a payment plan. It's tough. Life is tough. But you make it harder on yourself when you, first of all, put yourself in a situation where you end up here in the first place. And second of all, don't resolve that situation and end up having to keep coming back and keep owing more and more money. As entitled as you've been here and as much time as you've wasted, I am rooting for you. It's a relatively minor thing, so there's no excuse to keep it going for so long. Anyway, folks, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope people can learn a bit of a lesson from it too. It made me remember that, you know, there are times in your life where things are tough, but you just got to push through. It's the only way. And with that, folks, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure and smash that like button, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, you can do so by becoming a member, Patreon, dropping an old super thanks down below, or dropping a tip in the PayPal tip jar. I'll catch you all once I get back from Portugal. Felici. Hey guys, we have ourselves an incredibly angry little gremlin Karen over here today. And she gives this judge a bloody well run for his money, but he's having absolutely none of it. Check this one out. If you like it, make sure and hit that like button and let me know what you think.
Are you Miss Blasma?
Bilesma?
Is it Sarah?
Bilesma?
All right, what are we doing today, gentlemen?
So for the record, this case number 24S18976F8, people be served Bilesma. Bilesma, President via Zoom from the jail, or Mr. Franklin, President in court, today temporary status conference. I have had the opportunity to talk with Mr. Franklin a bit more about the case. I have adjusted the offer a bit. The offer is for the defendant to plead guilty or no contest to counts 1 and 3. We'll dismiss count 2 for an habitual. We would kill him with a jail gap. That's the change. That offer is open for today. The PSI, probation, fines, cost, restitution. We would include count 4, the MDOP, which in this case, no contact orders would remain.
All right, and Ms. Franklin, what's your client's wishes today?
Ms. Bilesma, you just heard the offer. It does include the jail cap. something that you and I had talked about a lot. Today is the first day the prosecution has offered that. If you want to take that today, you can. If you'd like to talk to me in a breakout room, I think we could probably arrange that as well, but it's up to you.
What's the cap? What's the jail cap?
It's just a jail cap, so it'd be.
Well, I need a day. How many days? What's the jail cap on that?
It would be no more than 12 months, plus the credit you already have.
To plead guilty when there's, okay, I just was hoping that the judge could clarify if there's evidence even against me. Because there's no injury, so I'm wondering how I'm being held
Would
against
you
for
like,
a four
Sarah, you
year
want to talk breakout room real quick?
with no
I
evidence.
want to just put you in a breakout room and then, she
Well,
doesn't say something. She should.
no, he doesn't help me. He doesn't help me. I'll just plead guilty. No contest. Because I'm not gonna win anyways. But there's no evidence even against me. There's no injury. There's no injury. How am I even in jail?
Miss Blasma, then I'm gonna place you in a breakout room. You can talk to your attorney about it.
It's not helping me, sir. I need you as a judge to know.
I'm not your advocate, all right? I can't advocate for you.
There's no evidence. How can you as a judge charge me when there's no evidence of injury?
So deputy, can you,
charge me, judge?
ma'am, if you'd stop, I'm gonna have you talk to your attorney. Doesn't need
I
to
don't
have
keep
any
talking
injuries for these charges, none.
I don't want to.
Is there a
there's no
place that
injury.
she can be placed, that she can talk to Mr. Franklin while we still have the jail camera there available to continue our docket?
Now, don't worry, I saw the guy with the fez too, with the word bay at the end of it. And trust me, that is going to be coming up just after this video, and I will have it linked also for you down below, and maybe in a playlist or something like that. You'll find it. You'll find it. It'll be the guy with the big red fez. Can't miss it.
It's my understanding that she's willing to enter a no contest plea.
All right, is that accurate, Ms. Bilesma?
Yep.
All right, and then I heard earlier that's going to be counts 1 and 3.
That will be counts 1 and 3, Your Honor. Yes, I do have amended information here as well as license rights. And we'll have the spark.
All right, Ms. Bilesma, if you raise your right hand, I'm going to have you sworn. You solemnly swear from the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the full truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah, just don't ask me if I did it.
I didn't catch that. That's just a yes or no question.
Yeah.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Ms. Bilesma, the charge in count 1 is assault with a dangerous weapon. That's commonly known as felonious assault. That's a 4-year felony and or a $2,000 fine. DNA is to be taken upon your arrest, and the consecutive sentence could be imposed if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Now, count 3 is resisting or obstructing to a police officer. That's a 2-year felony and or a $2,000 fine. A consecutive sentence can be imposed if the assault was committed in a place of confinement or for another violation arising from the same transaction. Ms. Bilesma, do you understand the nature of those 2 charges and the maximum penalties associated with those 2 charges?
I thought we were capping and I wasn't gonna have to do consecutive.
I'm just informing you of the maximum charges. The agreement that you have with the people has already been placed on the record, okay?
Oh, it's not gonna be like 12 months and 12 months consecutive, because I feel like I'm being tricked here anyhow.
Okay, so I didn't hear anything about a consecutive sentence as part of your agreement. Is that accurate, Mr. Butler?
They'll be concurrent.
Okay, so they said that they'll be concurrent if that was placed on the record.
Well, sure, then I'm guilty as charged.
Okay, so let's have you listen carefully to the court's questions. Do you understand the nature of those 2 charges? Let's start with that.
Yeah.
And do you understand the maximum penalty with each? Okay, they could be up to 4 years and up to 2 years. And both of them could be run consecutive if that wasn't part of your deal, okay? So do you understand the maximum penalties?
But that is part of my deal, right? I'm not getting any more than 12 months, right?
That's what the prosecutor just said. So if you listen carefully, you're answering your own questions.
Yeah.
Do you understand the maximum penalties?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Bilesma, do you understand that if you go forward with a plea, you won't have a trial of any kind? Is that what you want to do? Is waive your right to have a trial so you can take advantage of this agreement that's been placed on the record this morning?
Yes, I'm probably coming back for prison when I violate probation now.
All right, well, we can cross that bridge when we get to it, but that's not the best attitude to have going into supervision at some point, but We'll get there later. All right. So you don't want to have a trial. Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm not going to trial. There's no point. Yeah.
All right. When you waive your right to have a trial, you waive all of these rights that I'm going to explain to you now. All right. So just listen, and then I'm going to ask you a question about it. Okay. So you're waiving the right at trial to be presumed innocent, not just of counts 1 and 3, but all the charges you're facing. You're waiving the right to confront any witnesses that might be called against you or to call your own witnesses. You're also waiving the right to testify at a trial or not to say anything, and then the trier of fact couldn't use that against you. You're also waiving the right to have the assistance of an attorney at a trial. You could have Mr. Franklin throughout a trial and even post-trial if you wanted to go that route. Ms. Boswell, you're waiving all the rights that would come along with a trial, again, to take advantage of the agreement that was placed on the record this morning.
So, if I plead no contest, am I able to take this to an appellate court and get it out of Ironton County?
Well, we're going to talk about that in 1 second.
Okay.
So are you waiving all the rights that would come along with a trial?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 more things you waive by waiving your right to have a trial. The first one is this: you waive the right to claim at a later date and time, sometime in the future, in other words, you're waiving the right to claim it wasn't your choice to enter these pleas this morning. In other words, you can't come back later and say, hey, wait, on February 20th, it wasn't my choice to enter no contest pleas. It was Mr. Franklin's, or it was my boyfriend Bubba, or whoever it might be. You can't come back later and say it wasn't my choice. Do you understand that?
Well, 100% my choice. I'm willing to try to get this resolved as quickly as possible.
All right. So you understand that you can't come back later and say it wasn't your choice this morning?
It's my choice to plead no contest, yes.
All right. Here's the other thing that you waive. You waive the right to come back later, in the future, in other words, and say that there were other promises or threats or inducements to you except those we've already placed on the record this morning. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Now here's what you asked about earlier. Even with these pleas, you're going to have a form of appellate review available to you. It's called leave to appeal. And with that, you could hire an attorney to file that for you. If you couldn't afford one, you could request an attorney from the court. Do you understand that?
Oh, absolutely. That's what I will be looking forward to doing. Thank you.
All right. So just because you seem anxious to do that, I'm going to then go a little further than what I'm even required to do. Do you recognize that leave to appeal means that the Court of Appeals, because you're entering a plea, doesn't have to look at it at all? They can summarily say no. You understand that?
I probably won't even file any paperwork anyways. I'm kind of like giving up anyhow at this point. For any justice.
Okay, well, here's the difference. If you go to trial and you lose, then the Court of Appeals has to review your request. If you enter a plea, you can file an appeal and they can summarily say no without any review at all. So that's the difference. Does that change anything for you?
I know, yes. I'm going to be sitting in here for a year just to go to trial.
Well, you're not going to be there for a year to go to trial. If you want a jury trial, we'll get it on for the next jury selection date. That's every 3 months or something like that. So you'll have trial dates a week or so after that.
Another 3 months, or?
I don't know when my next date is. You wouldn't be on my next date, so it would be out for our next term. So I don't know when that would be off the top of my head, but it would be probably 2-3 months at least.
Yeah, 6 months. I got 12 months done here. So I'll just plead no contest.
All right. So I'm going to go back to that question. Do you understand your right to appeal is going to be limited because of a plea? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
All right. Now, Ms. Boswell, let's talk about those charges, okay? Now, count 1 is assault with a dangerous weapon, commonly known as felonious assault. How do you plead to that charge?
No contest.
All right. And count 3 is resisting, obstructing a police officer. How do you plead to that charge?
No contest.
And then Mr. Franklin, the reason for these no contest pleas?
Your Honor, lack of independent recollection.
All right, the court does find that as a factual or an appropriate use of the no contest plea. And Mr. Butler, you don't have any objection to the no contest pleas?
No objection.
All right. So then I have before me what's been marked as People's 1. It is incident number 5671-23. It's a police report authored by the state police, 9 pages in length. And then there is I guess it's just 9 pages in length. Mr. Franklin, do you have any objection to the court receiving 1?
No objection.
Court will receive 1. Just give me a minute to review it. I do find factual basis for 1 and 3. Also do find it confirms venue as related in the information Lyons Township, County of Ionia, and our date and time of honor about October 13th of 2013. Mr. Butler, anything else on the facts?
No.
Mr. Franklin, how about you?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Boswell, I'm back to you. Other than what we have talked about here this morning on the record, has anyone else promised you, threatened you, or done anything to you to get you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Okay, other than what we have placed on the record this morning, has anyone else said anything to you about what your sentence will be as a result of entering these pleas? And I'm not talking about Mr. Franklin, that's his job. I'm talking about, has anyone else said anything to you, like your aunt or your bunkie in the jail there, or somebody else? Has anyone else said anything to you about what to expect for a plea, for a sentence?
Nobody cares, sir. The only 2 people that care are my kids. They don't
Right,
know.
but they haven't said anything about what your sentence might be?
They wouldn't know.
Okay. Mr. Butler, are you aware of any other promises, threats, or inducements to Mr. Boswell?
I'm not.
Mr. Franklin, how about you?
I'm not.
Mr. Butler, you believe the court's complied with the court order for taking the no contest plea?
I do.
Mr. Franklin?
The court has.
Okay. Ms. Boswell, do you have any questions about anything that we've covered now that we're just about done with this process?
Nope.
All right, last question. Do you want the court to accept your no contest pleas to 1 and 3?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will accept your pleas. You did offer them freely, accurately, and voluntarily. So what will happen next, ma'am, is somebody from probation will be contacting you to begin the process of completing this pre-sentence report. Once that's completed, Mr. Franklin's going to get a copy of it, and he's going to go over it with you the day or 1 or 2 days, maybe the morning of, before sentencing. And that's so that the 2 of you can review it and check it for accuracy. All of that will occur, and then sentencing is generally going to be about 4 weeks out. All right? So I'll see you in about 4 weeks. Okay, if there's nothing else, that'll conclude the matter. Thank you.
Well, it seemed to me like that little Karen decided to calm down a small bit, probably after her lawyer had a word with her. I mean, where do these people think they get off? For 1 minute suggesting that a judge is gonna just give them everything they want because they raised their feckin' voice a bit. Anyway, lads and lassies, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash that like button and we'll catch you in the next one. It's Launcher. Now, just about everybody watching likes to see smug, entitled Karens in court. But it's all the better when the judge puts her very quickly and swiftly in her place. Check out this Karen who tries to talk over one of our favorite judges and finds out very quickly that that is simply not going to happen. I'm going to need a nickname for this one down below. Couldn't come up with one on the spot, so give me your best in the comment section down below.
All right, this is a bench warrant arraignment in the matter of People versus Amanda Marion Jewell. Is that you?
Yes, it is.
I'm Judge Middleton. I'm here at the courthouse.
Mr. Middleton.
Your attorney.
I'm here today.
What's that?
I'm kind of curious why I'm here today. I was pretty sure I served my sentence out.
You never showed up for the sentence.
I was pretty sure I was released and I served my entire sentence for the entire in 2022.
That might have been in front of Judge Stutzman, but in this case,
it was
file 212545.
You were the judge in the case.
All right. Well, in this case, you're charged with illegal entry.
And that
It was
was exactly
alleged
what it was for.
that you entered a residence at 8th Street.
It's a misdemeanor, correct?
Yes. And the matter was set for sentencing
I thought I'd already served my sentence.
on August 31st.
I thought that's when I got out, 2022. I was here for like 60 days. I got picked up in July. I was released because the sentence was served, as far as I knew.
Now, just about everybody watching likes to see smug, entitled Karens in court. But it's all the better when the judge puts her very quickly and swiftly in her place. Check out this Karen who tries to talk over one of our favourite judges and finds out very quickly that that is simply not going to happen. Gonna need a nickname for this one down below. I couldn't come up with something on the spot, so give me your best down below.
Let's go through the history of this. Ms. Casey Strong is here with us from the public defender staff. And she, I asked her to come in. All right, let's go back. On December 21st, you allegedly illegally entered a building at 11028.
What year?
12/22 of 21.
So in 2022, I was picked up and
All right,
served the rest of the
just wait,
sentence.
I'm going through this.
Okay.
You got arrested and posted a bond in January of 2022.
Yep.
Attorney Timothy George was appointed to represent you, but he had a conflict, and the attorney then became Rhonda Ives. On July 13th of 2022, you got arrested for failing to appear, and you pled not guilty again. So I set the matter for an attorney pretrial for August 5th. Of 2022. You pled guilty to the charge on August 5th. So you trespassed on the house that Jamison Norman owned and allegedly trashed the place. You were in jail for 25 days. I gave you a PR bond and set the matter for sentencing for September 12th, which you promptly never appeared again whatsoever. So your bluster this morning is wasted. You were in jail for 25 days. You entered a plea. I let you out of jail, and you never showed up for the sentence. You never got sentenced.
I never got
What?
any notice to appear.
I told
when I
you in the
left.
courtroom.
When
I may
left,
have even
I
given you
never got
something.
a-
I told you
a
the matter was
physical-
set for sentencing on September 12th of 2022. I asked for victim input and a police report. Miss Norman was watching this house for her grandmother and contended that you or others trashed the place. So I set the matter for sentencing. I let you out of jail, and you paid me back by never showing up again.
I don't remember ever getting a notice to appear after.
I
when I
told
was
you in
released.
the courtroom what the day was
But
to
I
be
didn't have
here.
I physically did not have a sheet that said I needed to return to the court.
Well, we sent it to 1411 James Street, Kalamazoo, which is the address that you gave me in the courtroom.
Well,
That was mailed to that
sure
address on
address
August
is no
31st.
longer, I cannot receive mail there. The house has been condemned.
So
I cannot
on that day, your lawyer tried to call you several times, had no contact with you since you got out of jail. And the complainant was present and ready to give information about your case.
Well, the complainant was in the parking lot when I left the jail that day and threatened my life.
All right.
Norma
Well,
is her name?
No. Her name is
The
Jameson.
the woman that was watching the residence was in the parking lot that day when I left and threatened my life.
Okay. So anyway, you never called your lawyer. Your lawyer was unable to reach you and you never showed up. So how did you get arrested last night?
I didn't get arrested last night. I was arrested on Sunday.
Where is that?
At 1411 James.
In Kalamazoo?
Yes.
So Sunday would have been February 10th, Super Bowl Sunday. How did you come to get arrested?
On my property.
Did they arrest you for something else, or did they just find there was
Yes.
this warrant?
They arrested me for something else. This popped up
And
when
then
I
found this.
was going to be let out.
All right. What was the charge in Kalamazoo?
A false charge of controlled substance, dangerous drugs, and I'm supposedly on the FBI list. Who knows why, but.
All right. So is that, and then they were gonna bond you out. They found this warrant in St. Joe County.
Yep. This popped up.
All right. We need to get the case back on track. Monday's a holiday.
And I need to get out of here as fast as possible because I'm trying to get my taxes paid on my house so I can start renovations.
Okay.
Before the 1st of March, definitely.
All right, very good. I'll set this matter for sentence, and hopefully we can get Miss Ives here. The first day I have is February 21st.
And I have court in Kalamazoo on the 21st.
All right.
Do I have to stay in jail till this matter goes to court? I would think that since it's a misdemeanor, I wouldn't have to stay in jail.
You're mistaken. I'm not very happy with you. You blew off your sentencing date. You never called your lawyer. The complainant came twice. You're trying to bluster me to tell me that you already got sentenced and did a bunch of jail time. I did you a favor by letting you out of jail, and you promptly responded by.
I thought I did. My mistake.
Okay.
I just want to get the matter resolved, and I don't want to miss being able to get my property taken care of before March. and I don't want to miss my other court dates in Kalamazoo.
Fair enough.
Trying to keep a better schedule. Only can do that if, you know, we can work together. Because this is only a misdemeanor. Not that that makes it any less important.
There we go. Your lawyer is set to be here next Tuesday.
Have to be here till
February
Tuesday?
20. Yes.
Really?
We also need to give notice to the complaining witness.
So I can't give any, I can't, because now I have a way to get here. Before I didn't have a way to get here.
Yes.
I don't understand why I couldn't be released. If I do have a way to get here, I know I have a way to get here. Before I did not.
Well, you do now, because you have no bond. I'm going to deal with you on Tuesday, and I'm going to decide at that time whether to let you out on Tuesday or give you the balance of 93 days in jail. So you might want to work on your attitude a little bit. I'll have your lawyer, Rhonda Ives, here at that time. We'll have the complainant here. I'm going out of my way to set this as soon as I can on a date that your attorney is already scheduled to be here. Just because you're strenuous in your statement doesn't mean it's correct. The bottom line is, I let you out of jail. You blew me off. You never showed up. You never called your lawyer. Your lawyer couldn't call you. I told you the date in the courtroom. I mailed the notice to the address that you gave me. You've been AWOL for 2.5 years. So we'll deal with this on Tuesday. No, this is it. I'll see you Tuesday at 9 o'clock. All right. Ms. Strong, there wasn't much to say there, but that's the soonest day I can get Ms. Ives that she's scheduled to be here, which is next Tuesday. And we need to give notice to the prosecutor for the victim. Let's go. Your mistake.
Now, it's fun to see them get all smug and be like, I think you'll find. Well, I think you'll find you're wrong, Karen. Or as the judge said, you're mistaken. Well, I'm not mistaken in saying that she was an absolute pain in the ass. Lads and lassies, if you enjoyed this video, make sure and hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and we will catch you in the next one. Sláinte.
Guys, I am absolutely loving this Judge Fleischer. He is awesome. It's my understanding that Colin, definitely not Cromwell, actually had him on for an interview the other night, so I'm going to check that out while I'm doing a bit of work. Obviously, I'm not in my usual surrounds. I'm not in my usual studio. I've got a lot going on at the moment, so I've been kind of busy hard at that one. This sovereign citizen lady, who happens to be a fugitive from justice, got pulled over and she tries the traveling thing. Judges having absolutely none of it. So check this out. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think.
Okay, let me do this real quick and then
I'm not your attorney, but I'm gonna stand next to you. I look tough.
Thank you.
I try.
Oh, yeah, I was happy to do that.
Are you Aaron Teresa Riley?
Yes, sir.
Do we know, did they give her another PR bond? What happened here? Did you post a surety bond or did you get another PR bond?
No, I posted a surety bond.
Miss Riley, you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon, racing on the highway from cases that are from September of 2023. And now you've picked up a failure to identify oneself while being a fugitive from justice. On the new case, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you.
Give the right to have an attorney present if you cannot afford one. One will be appointed to you, ma'am.
On June 2024, officers observed a vehicle that had a fictitious license plate similar to those used by sovereign citizens. The officer conducted a traffic stop. The defendant was asked for her license, and she said she did not have one since she was not driving but traveling. Officers asked her for her name, to which she replied that she has no name. After asking multiple times, she advised that her last name was Teresa, her first name was Erin, and that her date of birth was August 17th, 1985. Officers then used TCIC to look for her information. It had negative results. She was identified via APIS. She had open warrants out of Harris County court file.
She gave what name again?
Erin Teresa. She said her last name was Teresa, Your Honor.
Got it. Okay. Ms. Riley, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. You have a valid Texas driver license, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Can you run her license, please? You have valid liability insurance in your name.
Yes, sir.
Then you're not allowed to drive.
I won't be driving.
You're not allowed to be driving, no
won't drive it.
conveying.
No, sir. I
However
won't
you try
travel
to-
or anything.
No getting in the driver's seat.
Yes, sir.
If you do, I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing 6 months in jail every single time. Now, what do you do for a living?
I don't work.
How do you survive? How do you eat? How do you get money?
Well, I have a trust fund that I'm a beneficiary of. My father passed away and he left some assets.
Are you able to afford a lawyer?
Not currently, but
How much is in the trust fund?
quite a bit of assets, not actual dollar amounts. It's assets. I have some mortgages and such. If I have some time, I could possibly be able to talk and get the funds.
No, the problem is that your case is older than Jesus. It's time to do something now.
Yes, sir. I
So-
was trying to do that at my previous court dates. I came twice and I tried to get.
So please, you don't have to say anything. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna appoint your lawyer today. We will figure out today what happens with your cases. Do not leave.
I won't.
Otherwise, I'm telling you, I'm gonna make your bond so high you'll split into 3.
Yes, sir. I would like to settle the matter.
Okay, so, right, I will appoint you someone today and we'll try to figure something out for you, okay? Just for now, I'm gonna have you sign this affidavit, no driving. And then after that, I'll just have you take a seat in the first pew over there and we'll find you a lawyer.
Thank
Do
you.
not leave until I excuse
Yes,
you.
sir.
Okay, please.
All right, and now we're going to have some clips of this judge being an absolute boss. Enjoy.
Do you have a Texas driver license?
No.
Look at me. You will now sign an affidavit promising me you're not going to drive. I don't care what is going on in your life. I don't care if Mother Teresa needs to go to church. Bambi has to go to the hospital. You get into a car and drive, I will have a contempt hearing. You will be facing 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you get into a car and drive. Do you understand? So you're not allowed to drive. That is now a bond condition. And if I find that you do, I will hold you in contempt. And you're facing 6 months every single time because it's an offense in and of itself. Number 1. Number 2, you're also charged with using cocaine. I'm going to drug test you like crazy. If I find that you're using, I will put you in jail. And I'm going to tell you now, the fact that you have alcohol in the car is a minimum of 5 days in jail to any sentence that you get. I guarantee you, if you go to jail for 5 days, immigration will put a detainer on you. Not only that, you do not look like you're in stellar health. So, at your advanced age, in your condition now, using cocaine is probably about the worst thing you can do, and you're begging for a heart attack. Because it's a second offense, I will now be requiring you to put a device on your ankle to prove to me that you're not consuming alcohol. Be careful for anything you put in your body. Crazy because he was using cocaine. I'm going to tell you now, if you have demons, you better address it. Because if you don't, I'm going to do it for you. And I promise you, you're not going to like the way that I do it.
Gomez Angel. He's in the box.
They gave him another PR bond in this case? Absolutely not. He goes with you. Absolutely not. Not over and over and over and over. Why such anger, Mr. Woods? Why such anger? I want to know where the anger stems from. What happened to you, Mr. Woods? What is going on with you? Tell me. Why such anger? If you think that this is going to be easy, you are sorely mistaken, Mr. Woods. Why such anger? The only way all this is going to stop is when we get to the root of what anger is and why it continues. The only way you will, Mr. Woods, the only way you will stop picking these cases up is when you look in the mirror and find out why you have such anger. You can't run forever. You're going to have to face this at some point. And if you can't do it on your own, then you're going to do it with me. But I'm going to tell you now, I'm not letting you go. I'm going to keep you so close to me that you're going to think that we're now a union. Tell me, why? We will sit here until you tell me why. If you need time to think, you can go to the jury box and tell me. Why is it fair that the people of Harris County get to pay for a lawyer for you when you do nothing and play Xbox all day? It's not cool. If you get a job and it pays little, I'm happy to give you a lawyer. But while you're not doing anything, it's not cool, man. No. You've already told me your portion of already, okay? Start working. When you come back, I will give you a lawyer. But while you're not doing anything, I can't just ask the people of Harris County to pay for a lawyer for you when you're not doing anything. Do you have kids?
Yeah, I have kids.
How many kids you got?
I have 4.
You have 4 kids?
Yeah.
What? Do you think kids are going to wait a whole month to eat?
No, I'm there's no, sir, just because I'm not working doesn't mean I don't have an income coming in. I mean, I get
What kind of income you got coming in? I would say, I want you to look at me. Don't look over there. Don't look up. Don't look down. 90% of the people that we have in custody are because they have no self-control. They wig out and do whatever they want to do without thinking. If I do this, what's going to happen? If I say this, what's going to happen? Every damn murder case, every aggravated assault, discharging, no self-control.
Stream's about begun, a sparkler and a tale. We'll see how hard he comes. Chaos and laughter, it's a wild, crazy ride. With the ADHD demon, they've got no place to hide. Hey ho, let's go, mute it, oh no. The shamrocks like a tidal wave, how big can we go? Demon don't tech, but he's ready for the fight. Spidey's at the ready, he's gonna stream tonight. A true rebel on parade. Distraction patience his companion, but Chloe's coming to his aid. The caffeine's kicking hard, I'm about to holler to the ADH demon. I'll pledge my last anus dollar. Hey ho, let's go, knew they don't know. The shamrock's like a tidal wave, how pay can we go? Demon doesn't tech, but he's ready for the fight. Spuddy's at the ready, he's gonna stream tonight. A drunken anthem, raise your glass up high for the wild ones like us who never say die. The spark inside is burning, can you feel the heat? With the ADH demon, we'll never face defeat. Hey ho, let's go, new they don't know. The shamrock's like a tidal wave, how petty can we go? Demon doesn't tech, but he's ready for the fight. Spuddy is at the ready, he's gonna stream tonight. Hey ho, let's go, new they don't know. The shamrock's like a tidal wave, how petty can we go? Demon doesn't tech, but he's ready for the fight. Spuddy is at the ready, he's gonna stream tonight.